Hello everyone and welcome to another Foreman community demo. So if you've any questions during the demo, please feel free to write to us on the YouTube live chat or on the Foreman channel on LibreChat IRC. Also, if you have any interest in coming and discussing any of the items that we are talking about today, feel free to jump on our Google Meet. You can find the link to that so if you follow the YouTube description, it has a link to the agenda for today's demo, and down the bottom there you can also find a link to our Google Meet. So if you prefer just to join us here rather than watch on YouTube, you're very welcome to do so. And before we begin, we have a short demo today. If you take a look at the agenda, so it'll be short and sweet, and my announcements will also be quite short because I'm very quickly going to hand you over to Amit today, because while I have him, I asked him just to please run through some release announcements and also some announcements around the work that he has been doing up to today. He has some exciting news for us, so I will just pass you over to Amit now.
Hello everyone. So from release point of view, we are not having as such Foreman release ongoing. So the one thing you would like to know that we are at halfway point of 3.4, and so if you're focusing on many features or bug fixes which are targeted for 3.4 specifically, then it's high time to uh, have the great focus on that and just get those moving, so we don't be in the situation where we want those features or we want those fixes but we are out of time kind of situation. So that's from release point of view. Uh, then next time moving to the very exciting topic, and let me share my screen. Okay, am I sharing my screen correctly?
You
I
are. It looks
think.
good. Yeah, it's perfect,
Okay.
Amit.
Okay, so we have this awesome tool which is Foreman Maintain, and though it was named as Foreman Maintain, but we were still not having that as in presence for the community. So it was kind of work in progress, and the ask from the community was to include that in Debian as well.
I think we're losing you a bit, Amit. Maybe kill your camera.
But yeah, am I audible?
You're audible now. Maybe turn off your camera. It might help a little bit with your, and could you please start again with regards to Foreman maintain? We just lost you as you were getting into the details there.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, so we have this great tool which is Foreman Maintain, and the thing is, like, though it's Foreman Maintain, but it was not present as such in community broadly. Specifically, it was only present for the enterprise Linux based operating system, which means CentOS, Sorel, and whatever we have like Alma Linux now. So the ask was, so we should be having that for Debian and Debian based OSs like Debian and Ubuntu. And the ask was from last couple of years, but some or other way I was unable to prioritize the work. And then since last couple of months I was super focused on getting that done for the community. So I am having the good news, and it's that Foreman Maintain is now available on Debian and Ubuntu. And as the starting point, it's we are going to support a backup and restore on Debian Ubuntu, and then we have also added the support for apt package manager. So combining these two things, it's like starting point where you can get started using the Foreman maintain on Debian and Ubuntu, and ultimately what I feel like the next future is we are going to add the upstream upgrade support as well, because that's the next thing. So the goal is like have the upstream upgrade for Katello and Foreman, and specifically for Foreman it should be working on EL uh, as well as Debian based operating system. So that's kind of all the thing, and this is the tracker for that. So I tried my best to address all the issues which I found while trying the stuff or trying the commands. And I would like to thank Evgeny, Evout, Eric for reviews and for the support throughout all of the PRs which I have raised in this repository. And yeah, so from your side, I wish that you try to use Foreman maintain on Debian, and if you face any problems or if anything is there, then you can raise the issues, and any contributions from your side, those are also welcome. And yeah, I think that's it kind of from my side with respect to Foreman maintain and release announcements. And I'm handing over the mic to Melanie.
Thank you very much, Amit. And just so if I am a Debian user, what is the, can you just in a very basic way for people who have not necessarily been following Foreman maintain, what would be the main advantages of getting started with this today for them?
Yeah, so the Foreman maintain packs the checks procedures which are there for, like, if you want to check the health of your Foreman instance specifically on Debian, then you can do that. Then it also has with respect to whatever I have added, it has the backup and restore commands, so you can take the backup of your Foreman offline and online. Snapshot backups are still not supported, so maybe in future if there is demand for that, then we can also do that. But you can actually take the backup of your Foreman instance offline, which is like full backup, and online, which is like only database backup. And then you can restore that if there is any problem with your installation. So the tool is as such not developed to install the Foreman itself. It is more like taking care the responsibilities of maintenance, backup, restore, and upgrade task. So what I would expect you to do is install install the Foreman instance. So as the changes are only available in nightly, and eventually those will be added in 3.4. So on nightly Foreman installs, you can now actually type it in the
Losing you again, Amit.
so that is kind of the initial point of or starting point of Foreman maintain on Debian.
Thanks, Amit. We lost you just slightly towards the end there. When you mentioned what was available on nightly. Hi, Maximilian has joined us, so you're welcome. But thank you I think we got the gist of that for the most part, Amit, so thank you very much for that. And Amit, is there just one last thing with regards to the releases, the release announcements? Have we any news around the Katello release?
If I understand, then if I know and understand correctly, then we are going to go for 4.5 GA, and I'm hoping that we are already done about that. Maybe I need to check. I will check, and maybe I will comment in the chat section if we are having the 4.5 GA available.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for all of the updates, Amit, and thank you for introducing and walking us through Foreman maintain for Debian users. It's fantastic to see a community contribution like that. So that is great news. And okie doke. So just back to myself for one last thing that I should mention before we move on to the demos. So Amit, who you've just been listening to there, is going to start taking over the community demos for the summer period. I myself, I will be taking some time off, and Amit has kindly offered to ensure that the demos continue at the same cadence, and that hopefully they'll also continue live on YouTube, etc. So I'd just like to thank him very much for volunteering to keep things running smoothly. So after this demo, if you've any if you've any feedback, shall we say, Amit is waiting for it. So that will be the only other community related change that I have to announce today before we start the demos. So I will just check. I do believe that our first demo of today is going to be from Ian, and Ian is going to talk to us about Katello API for hosts enabled repositories.
Alrighty, thanks, Melanie. Let me get my screen shared. All right. So this demo is about a request that we got recently. Let me just log in. Previously, via the API, it wasn't really possible to see what hosts or what repositories hosts had enabled on them. We have a report for that really was, I think, only recently created, but no way to get it from the API. Previously, the only way that you could try to get this information, as far as I know, was from the product content API. So if we look at my host here, I'll just show you in the Foreman. This host just has a few things, this random repo, and then base OS and app stream. If we go over here and look at the product content, you can see all of these repositories, which you may look at and say, okay, cool, these are the enabled ones. But in reality, there are certain things that are confusing about it. For example, if you disable one of the repos, an override will pop up that won't exactly explain if it's enabled on the host or not. And to make matters even more complicated, if on the repository you have certain restrictions, for like the OS version, for example, or the architecture, this will not even tell you that. So if your base OS repo has a certain like OS restriction that you had set on the repo itself, or architecture, perhaps a host of another architecture might show up as having this repository supposedly enabled, but it doesn't. Anyway, so the point being is that within Katello, we have something we keep track of that are called the bound repositories. And these are the repositories that a host will report to Katello through a profile, that are the repositories that are actually enabled on the machine. So we've created an API to show this, and I'll just show you right here. So it lives here, so it's under hosts, ID, subscriptions, and then enabled repositories. And then this will pop up just the normal repository view that you're used to for repositories from the API, and it'll return all of them. So we can see I have my base OS one, and then I have the RPM modules, random one, and then let's see, I have app stream somewhere. There it is. So this should be very helpful for folks who need that information for automation or whatever. We don't have Hammer support yet, but I have created an issue to get that all handled nicely. And so, yeah, I hope folks find this helpful for all their API needs. And I don't think there's a whole lot more to say about it. So, yeah, if any folks are using it in the next versions, please give us some feedback about if you think it's helpful. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ian. Has anyone any questions or comments for Ian? I'll just allow a minute for the live stream to catch up with us. And if you do think of a question, you can ask out of order or anything. You can ask at any point for Ian. But I don't see any. I don't see any questions at this time. So thank you very much, Ian, and we can proceed to our next demo, which will be from Samir, and Samir is going to talk to us about alternate content sources, primary details view on this.
Thanks, Melody. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So for this demo, I have some updates for one of the features we have been working on, so which is alternate content sources. On the UI, you'll find it under lab features because this is still under active development. So what I have today is the details view for alternate content sources. So we have implemented a primary detail view, which opens to the side of the screen. And then you have expandable sections to look into further things you have there. And let me go to one which I can actually refresh because the URL is good. So you can refresh things directly from the details view. We need to add more actions here. So the next demo hopefully should be around adding edit capabilities on the screen. So watch this space. And that's all I had.
We'll wait patiently for your next update, Samir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Has anyone any questions for Samir? Yeah, no, I don't think so. So thank you again, Samir, for that. And we can move on to we're going to have now a bit of a Foreman demo one-man show. So Leosh is going to guide us through several updates from all around his part of the Foreman project. So
all right, let me share the screen. And yeah, as you said, Melanie, I have several presentations today. The first one is about bug fixes from Ron. Ron couldn't attend the demo, so I'm presenting the half of him. First issue is compute resource VM importing. There was one issue with VMware and Foreman Puppet plugin that has been fixed and is going to be backported back to all supported Foreman versions. So for every user who use VMware and Foreman Puppet, I really recommend to update Foreman. And another nice fix is that there used to be a lot of API errors when we were fetching host power status. The reason was that the timeout there was by default, I think, just 3 seconds. And so we decided to update the default timeout to 30 seconds. So now the host index page has more time to fetch the status, and you should see less errors in the log and finally get more time to get the status. So yeah, that was the bug fixes from the run. And now I'm going to talk about the ForemanGoogle plugin, which is from me. So where's my presentation? Here. Oh no, I'm not sure. I want to share. I want to slideshow. Oh yeah, so ForemanGoogle. Past several weeks, months maybe, I've been working on a new plugin for Foreman for Google Compute Engine. There, as you may know, there is already support for Google Compute Resource in the core, but we decided to move it to the plugin. There were several reasons. Mainly, we want to drop dependency from specifically from ForemanGoogle. The reason is that we are not the maintainers, so it's quite difficult to get bug fixes there. And yeah, you know, in general, the development from Fog side is not as, how to say, fast as we need. So by this, we will move it under our maintenance. Also, this is one of the features that was blocking us from upgrading to Ruby 3.0. So that's also really nice to have. And yeah, as I said, maintenance by us, this means faster bug fixing and in general better control over what goes into the code and what's not. And yeah, also there was one issue with the, well, I don't want to say issue, but ForemanGoogle was implementing basically all the features that were available in the Google API, which means there was a lot of code and a lot of rubbish that we actually don't need in the Foreman because we do not support all of the stuff that Google provides. So with the new plugin, there will be less code and it will be actually more lightweight. So what does it mean for the users? From the functionality, it means it will be basically same as before. As a user, you will have the same amount of the features, the same workflows, and the behavior should be exactly the same as before. The only thing what you need to do is when you will be upgrading to the new Foreman versions, you need to enable Foreman plugin during the upgrade. It will be in the release notes, so there will be steps how to do it. There is also, we are prepared for that, so migration will take care of everything. So if you will upgrade to the new versions, your current Google Compute Resource and the VMs shouldn't be affected at all. They will be updated and everything should be working as it was before. There is nice thing, and that is, as I said before, faster bug fixing, that right now we don't have to wait for the fog guys, for the reviewers, and we don't have to wait for the releasing. If there will be some kind of critical bug, we can fix it and release one version, new version, basically in the same day. So there's going to be, I say much more improvement for the users. And I can say that it's actually faster than the fog because, as I said, we don't implement all of the stuff and we really reduce the amount of the information that we are calling to Google and getting back from the Google. So I don't have exact numbers, but it's definitely faster than it is right now. So, showcase, yeah. So let me get my Foreman. Oh yeah, so this is my Foreman. Let's go create the host. I have prepared my host group GCE. So let's see. So, oh yeah, I have compute profile, virtual machine. I'm creating micro. I only need one disk. And operating system. Let's go with CentOS Stream 9, image based. Let's image. And yeah, that's basically what I need. Everything, right? Okay, so let's hit the submit. Meanwhile, because that will take some time, let's go to the Google Compute Engine. I don't have any instances running right now. No. So all right, so it's doing something. That's a good thing. Now we need to wait for the response from the Google. But I can show you meanwhile. Yeah, I can show you that the, what is this? Compute resources. As I said, the functionality and the features behavior should be exactly the same. So as you can see, if I will go to the detail of the compute resource, it's already running. As I said, everything is same as before. Oh yeah, we got IP address, we got some details. Now we are waiting for the SSH configuration, which I hope will work. At least it was working 5 minutes ago, so I hope I didn't break anything. And it's running. It's a good thing. You can see that it's maybe should be probably here already. Oh yeah, our Rini Lloyd example.com is already created in the Google, and it's in the Foreman. So looks like everything went well, and yes, that was basically it. It works, so I'm very happy that the demo went well. What else? Yes, right now, if you would like to try it, feel free to pull it from my repository. It's right now it's still living under my GitHub account, but of course we will move it to the Foreman when there will be first version available for the public. But if you want to start playing with it, it's basically easy to set up. Just enable the plugin and create the computer resource, and you should be ready to go. And yep, that's everything from me about the ForemanGoogle. Anybody got questions?
Thank you very much. Lesh, have you any idea? So Amit was talking that we're at the halfway point towards 3.4. Or have you any idea when this will start to appear?
Oh, yes, I forgot to say it. I'm sorry. This is going to be released with 3.4. And in 3.5 or 6, we will remove the old code from the core. So we will keep like one version where users can run the plugin and the core together, so they can verify that everything is working correctly, and we can catch up some bugs, because I believe some users will have some crazy setups that I didn't think of while I was testing. So first release will be 3.4, and in 3.5 Google plugin will be default option for the Google computer resource.
Thank you very much for that, Leosh. I don't see any questions other than Evgeny provided us with a small clarification that ForemanGoogle does support Ruby 3.0 in the meantime, but it's still there's it's slow at fixing things in general. So let me just have a quick look, Leosh, and see, has there been any other questions before you move on to your next item for us? I think we're good. So thank you very much for that. And now tell us all about this new guide.
Oh yes, that's also not from me, but Nofar couldn't attend it today. Nofar started working on the developer guide, how to set up development environment for the Foreman. So if you are a developer, or if you want to start developing, things for the Foreman, it would be really nice if everybody go to the PR and check that the instructions and everything is pretty clear, or if we are not missing some details, or the PR is there for some time. So it would be nice that we really, make it nice and useful for all developers or wannabe developers of the Foreman.
Do you have it? Could you share it, or share its location, or?
I didn't. Oh yeah, it's in the community demo page. There is a link to pull request.
Okay, I will paste that into our live chat. And I noticed we had someone in the community recently who was looking towards adding Debian errata, I think, and they were complaining a lot about the development in the dev environment installations. What is this exactly? This will take some of the pain out of that, I'm assuming.
I hope so. I don't know if we are covering Debian. I don't think so, but
no, that was just Debian errata development. Sorry, it wasn't
Oh.
actually. Excuse me, Leosh. He was doing Debian errata development, but he wasn't. He was developing on on an EL system, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so here's the PR
Yes.
where people can find find and comment and test, I assume, the installation guide?
Sorry again. It's just one file, with the instructions what you need to install and how to pull the repository. But yeah.
Perfect. Okay, look, I'll just paste this in a minute into our chat as well. So thank you for that. Leos, anything else from you?
Oh no, that was everything from me.
Enough, you say. Well, thank you very much for coming and representing all those different changes today. And I think with that, we are at the end of our demo. So if you don't have any, if no one has any further comments or questions or things that they would like to discuss, I think that we might call it a day for now. And I suppose I'll just allow one moment to see if there are any further questions. But I don't think so by the look of things. So I would just like to thank everybody who came along and demoed and talked today. I would especially like to thank everybody who has tuned in to watch this live. If anyone is watching it at a later time, feel free to drop a comment on the video with your questions, or go and ask over at the community.theforeman.org in our forum there. You'll find a link to it in the YouTube description. We host these demos in order to get your feedback and your thoughts on the latest changes, so please do let us know what you think. You won't be seeing me for a while, so again, I'd like to thank Amit, who is ensuring that these demos do continue, and there'll be another demo hopefully in 3 weeks. So thank you all very much for your time and for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.